Let's just do it. We're late enough. Let's be early. Are we live? Are we live? I said, are we live? It looks like we are. VigilanteWilliamson here on another episode of VW Casual. The 61st episode is resurrected, back from the dead. And I'm happy to be here. Shout out to anyone who's watching this live or on the playback. Or if I do clips, which I hope I do clips of this, and have come back to the main hub of whatever I clip out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. What we're going to talk about, it's in the title. The infamous Manosphere. We've talked about it. I just fresh off of a little YouTube short / TikTok post talking about the syphilis rate locally here in the Houston area that's gone up dramatically for the young ladies. Got a little pushback on the TikTok and the YouTube from people who didn't like the ladies being singled out, essentially. Didn't like the idea that, why are you just talking about the women? Well, the truth is most guys don't fuck. I don't think that's a surprise to that many people when you really think about it. But just statistically speaking, this is no longer a matter of opinion. It's no longer a matter of thought. But most chicks deal with the same dudes. And we got numbers, estimates as high as 40% of men don't even talk to women. 50% of men haven't had sex in the last year. Those statistics, I'm not sure how valid those statistics are to this day, because I've been saying them for a while. Hey, Papa Cotton, appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. Not sure how long you'll be, because I know you said you can't stay as late, but this is a little earlier than usual. It's a little earlier. And this will probably just be talking. I don't have any videos for us to watch. We might watch some, during this if I can think of some. I don't have anything to break down. I'm not going to play a video game. It's been a while since I did a talking only stream, especially one that doesn't have like a, okay, let's break down the video. Like we obviously did the Reddit stream on Friday. So we'll see how this goes. I should have, and I meant to get the chat so I can see you guys, not so I can see you guys chat, but just so on a playback, your chat shows up and that your chat shows up live. So I got to get the chat box going for future streams. But in any event, not a subject that we haven't talked about. These aren't things that honestly, if you've watched some of the streams that we've kind of gone on the subject, either in video games, we've done stuff on the Passport Bros. None of the stuff I say is going to be things I haven't really said in other streams. Whether it's me playing Final Fantasy, talking shit, whether it's in a dedicated stream, a lot of this stuff is kind of, it's kind of par for the course. I guess I'm just saying it, one, because I thought about making a video of it, because I think it's becoming more obvious that the Manosphere is marketing. And not just the Manosphere. I think a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about related to the Manosphere could be said for the fandom menace, can be said for the conservative movement, can be said for the liberal movement, can be said for a lot of internet mind cults and movements now, where there may be some value, there may be some information that is helpful or that is positive or that things that may need to be said, even things that may be uncomfortable that need to be said. But at a certain point, these things become both cult-like and purely a function of marketing and the algorithm, right? A lot of the reason we have so much content regarding this whole dating, the new dating paradigms, quite frankly, is because, rest in peace to Jerry Springer. We don't do daytime talk show TV anymore, right? That's not the guilty pleasure trashy television anymore. Now it's the relationship podcast. It's essentially replaced Jerry Springer. But I think the difference is it's not presented as such. You'll have a podcast like Fresh and Fit or the Whatever Cast, and they'll bring on some OnlyFans girl. And somehow this OnlyFans girl who will only date millionaires is supposed to be somehow representative of the modern woman, when it's just, nobody thinks like that. But that's the thing. And it's, again, it's much closer to something like a Jerry Springer a Maury show or Ricky Lake in the past, but now we're in the internet age. So this is the new form of trash TV. And there's no shame in it. I'm not saying that to shame Fresh and Fit or whatever cast or any other podcast I put in the thumbnail or any, other podcasts we may or may not talk about. But it's just the reality. That's the appeal. That's why I didn't really like rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. I thought his content, there was an implicit, not a contract, but a unsaid contract between, or unsaid agreement between the women who showed up to a show and him, where they showed up to Act the Fool. They showed up on Kevin Samuels' platform to say ridiculous things. And then, they were in on it, whether or not he told them to be in on it or not. They were showing up for their 15 minutes of fame to say something kind of outlandish, and then he'd have his comeback. And they were happy to be in on it again. It didn't have to be some behind the scenes thing. They just were happy for their 15 minutes of fame, happy for their little bit of clout. So all of this material should be taken with a grain of salt. And I think my worry is I'm not sure that it is. I think it's becoming something that people take very seriously, that people take to heart, that people really buy into. Again, I could have said this about the fandom. I did say this about the fandom. I could have said this about anything. This is the modern way people interpret things on the internet. I think that's where, as much as the interest is, that, and I like to crack jokes, and there's some fun to be had. There's some fun to be had, but there's some seriousness to it, I guess, because it is influential on how dating and mating and all that stuff goes, and where that goes, so goes the family. We know the family's been attacked by the system, so to speak. But the Manosphere being a work, I kind of want to do it in some sort of a chronological order of how this started. This whole Manosphere thing started, at least from my interpretation. And if anyone watching this playback wants to correct me, I'm open to correction. And the goal of this podcast, this stream, in any other streams like it, is not to just shame the Manosphere, not to worship and praise the Manosphere, but just provide some critical analysis and putting things in the proper place. Because I think a lot of people will be better served if they understood that whatever you see on the internet, just take the good away from it, take the good, take the valuable from it, and leave the rest. But unfortunately, we're seeing an internet where people are identifying behind these movements. It seems like identity politics was almost a precursor to what we have now, where people are now coming up with their identities based upon certain internet-inspired ideologies. But all that said, where did this Manosphere shit start, right? I would maintain and I would theorize the first step in creating the online Manosphere. And this is not, I don't know when MGTOW was coined. I'm not an expert. I haven't been here the whole time. But I would say from at least a mainstream perspective was when you guys remember the PUAs? You guys remember Mystery? He was on, what was that, VH1 show? That was the first layer of the beginning of the Manosphere. Ironically enough, as the Manosphere is known, the red pill shit is known from either ignoring women or leaving the country for women. That whole movement was about trying to seduce women at a wide scale, and all these gimmicks that guys did to seduce women. I feel like that was one of the first internet-based male dating, male sexuality sort of movements that we got. And from there, rather it was because of social media, rather it was because of the divorce laws as they were, rather it was because of the child support system, the next step was some sort of MGTOW or red pill movement afterwards. So it was ironic that we started off trying to get as many girls as possible, and it went from that to, oh man, I got child support. Oh man, marriage is this, that, and the third. Which honestly, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, back in the day, everybody, at least I'm getting bitches. Everybody was so gung-ho to get them some pussy, they didn't care about anything else. That's how we got the fat acceptance movement, ironically enough. Because guys wanted to fuck fat girls and didn't want to be shamed. That was literally the origin of the fat acceptance movement. We showed that on the stream. I think it's on the other channel, on Vengeance for now. So we, that came out of male horniness. And what happened was the next generation, or not even, maybe that same generation, who was so gung-ho, who was so, my whole life has changed. So in the state of pussy worship, kind of got a rude awakening by reality. And well, you know what? I almost forgot another movement that, I might get a lot of shit from the MGTOWs, from the Red Pill. Another movement that kind of predates this movement, whether you like it or not, is the incel movement. That unfortunately, so you have these two movements essentially. This movement of, and I'll show you, let you know later how the incels become important in this whole story, especially nowadays. But you have the guys who are putting everything they can and getting the most women. I get bitches. Then you have these guys who, oh man, I have no value for life. I'm completely unvaluable because I can't get bitches. And then comes MGTOW. Then comes some, honestly, potentially useful and valuable information, to which, for the first time, at least in my lifetime, somebody said, hey, you don't have to put everything you're doing, all of your focus, into pursuing women. And there are negatives to dating. I think a lot of guys, especially when we talk about Disney programming with women, a lot of guys with Disney program on some level. Even the guys who were in the middle, who weren't some PUA trying to smash all these hoes, or women, sorry, or incels crying because they couldn't. They're just normal guys. Got caught up in the Disney programming, the Disney princess. Once I meet my wife, then I can start my life. And for the first time, you had people, because a lot of us didn't have fathers, you had men telling their experience of the family court. And this is where there's some value in the quote-unquote manosphere, the pre-manosphere, or you want to call it a part of it. For the first time, people are talking about the marriage laws, the divorce laws, the common law marriage laws. I think here in Texas, I believe there's no time requirement for common law marriage, meaning you can move in to somebody's house and, if y'all dating, potentially be considered common law married. And some of these things are things that a lot of guys didn't know. Guys were either caught up so far into, again, not getting pussy from the incels, or trying everything they could, spending all their available income to get pussy amongst the PUAs. And then, of course, the normies in the middle. A lot of this information wasn't, public, wasn't broadcasted, wasn't known, wasn't thought of. Yeah, that pickup artist, we talked a little bit about the Hell Small Time Republic, about Mystery. Yeah, they were creepy guys. That's why a lot of them in the incel, there's normies, there's the incels at the extreme, the PUA. Most guys are in the normie frame, right? But those, when we're talking about the internet movement, those two kind of polar opposites slid together once this MGTOW thing became a bigger thing, or men going their own way, so to speak. And there was some, like I said, there's still some value for the men, young men who don't know, hey, there are some risks to marriage. Hell, there's value for the young ladies to know this thing, because as some of them are finding out, you can get Federline. If you're the higher income earner, Mary J. Blige found that out. Britney Spears found that out. You know what I'm saying? Because the state wants the money. So it's important to know some of these marriage laws. It's important to know some of these risks. It's important to know that there's a Reddit called Female Dating Strategies and some of the things that they're doing. It's important to know a chick might try to baby trap you. These things are valuable information. I think they're still valuable information. Just like, hey, like I said, for the young ladies, a guy might try to baby trap you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you girls start to get a little bit more money, but need to watch out for these guys. Girl, you better watch out. Some guys are only about All right, I ain't gonna go full Lauryn Hill, but you get my drift. Everybody needs to watch out. You need to know these things. You need to know some of these laws, some of these rules as far as how regulated the family structure is by the government. There's some valuable information to be had, and that freed both parties in some way. It freed the incels from having to worry about dating. Now you can just go your own way. And it freed a lot of the men who were spending all these resources and maybe not quite getting the advertised results. Because believe it or not, these creepy pickup artists didn't really have valuable fucking advice. How could anyone, like Mystery, not have valuable advice on how to pick up women? So it was kind of a breath of fresh air for a lot of guys who were kind of felt lied to by society, felt manipulated by society, manipulated by past relationships or relationships they couldn't get with. Maybe, this is where there were commiseration from the guys that got girls all the time and still had a lot of negativity from it, or the guys that didn't. They both could find value and information from this MGTOW, which at this point was not some wide known movement. There is no Kevin Samuels. There is no Pearl. There is no one. There's no Fresh and Fit. There's no one. This is just some stuff you might find on the Reddit. Maybe some YouTubers are doing it, but they're not that big. And they're talking about some of these concepts, telling their story and what happened with their marriage or their child support situation. And as time goes on, I really only discovered this stuff personally, 2019, 2020, right into the pandemic. Really, the pandemic is when I really start kind of picking up on this stuff myself. I'm not going to keep it. I'm not going to lie to you. Even though I heard of the pickup artists, I remember the VH1 thing. And I heard of MGTOW maybe a few years before that. I think I even did a video on it in this channel explaining that. And I really didn't, it didn't really mean much. So I kind of got into kind of a funky relationship and didn't know what hit me. And I was like, well, what the hell happened? And that kind of helped provide some answers. I'm not going to lie. And I still, like I said, I think there's some value in the Manosphere. And in many ways, it is an answer to feminism, right? And that's to kind of rope in, if you guys have ever seen The Red Pill, was it Cassie J? And she talks about some of the men's right activists, which is not quite the same thing, but there's a through line. And you start to say, okay, there's some value in talking about relationships from men's perspective. There's some value in calling to task some of the crazy behavior we start to see from women, either or directly on social media or in general. But something went, I don't want to say wrong. Maybe, oh man, we're going to get into that. We're going to get there, Papa Cotton. We're almost there, actually. The whole couple base dudes trash a room for clown sluts is stupid. Absolutely. There's definitely value in man acting like a man knowing his own worth, man knowing the laws. Maybe, this is where the real value is. Vetting women. That's for some reason, that's almost been lost in the recent content, right? That you should vet a woman at all. And I think just to vet women, because a lot of guys come from the scarcity mindset, to even say, hey, you know what, are you good enough for us to date? Felt like a revelation. It felt like a revelation. But then, like Papa Khan talked about, we started to get the podcast. The algorithm started to pick up on this sort of stuff. And that's when Fresh and Fit and Kevin Samuels. Yeah, Papa Khan, you're definitely on something. Small time. We vet women about as well as we vet food, not very well. There's something to be said about that. And Papa Khan, you're 100% right. The best advice from any man came from Patrice O'Neal and Tom Likas. I would agree. I think they still, with all these podcasts I put in the damn description or in the thumbnail, all these different groups, I would say you still can get better advice from Patrice O'Neal and Tom Likas clips. I think they still offer much more value than a lot of what we're getting now. But we start to see what we're getting now. We're starting to see the beginning. The OnlyFans took off. So let's get ourselves, let's move a little ahead to like around 2020, 2019. OnlyFans is taking off as an ideology. I maintain, and I have no evidence to prove this, that a lot of these podcasts are sponsored by OnlyFans on some way, or at least have some sort of involvement, if nothing else, allowing them to do these podcasts, if not encouraging them to do these podcasts, even though Fresh and Fit had this controversy that they were fucking the girls from OnlyFans. They wouldn't allow girls to get on unless they fucked them or some shit. That was alleged. I can't remember enough to know how confirmed that is. So that wasn't true. Apologies, but I remember that rumor coming out. So now we start to see the algorithm get behind this, right? Now this became a marketing thing. And as a content creator, I can tell you, when you have something that is ever flowing, you know what I mean? Something you can make a video about every day, and it's something that people want to hear, the algorithm is going to be friendly to you. And so literally every single day you can find a crazy girl on TikTok saying something crazy, or an OnlyFans girl saying something crazy. And so now you start to have all these different podcasts, all these different people coming up trying to tell you what a high value man was, and to have these generic platitudes on relationships that only apply to a very small percentage of really rich people, but everyone wants to live vicariously through them. And again, these things are not really taking the place of advice. They're taking the place of Jerry Springer, whether it's intended or not. These are the replacements for that. They're not like actual valuable advice, unfortunately, at least not no more. So once this podcast started to rise, once you started to have Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, and then eventually, maybe she started after while Kevin Samuels was still here. There's always gonna be lowbrow entertainment. I consider this stuff in that same sphere. And then you had the infamous Pearl, and when she definitely clarified that despite a lot of this rhetoric being quote unquote anti-women, that what she identified was that a huge percentage of this quote unquote Manosphere fan base were just guys who wanted the girl next door to tell them what they want to hear. That's why somebody's even brought up she doesn't really wear heavy makeup like that. She kind of looks almost fugly. No disrespect. I ain't about to win men's world's sexiest man myself, but it's almost like she's undermade up. She doesn't show herself to be as, she's not doing herself up as much as she could be. She's not dialing herself up as much as she could be. She's definitely going for a girl next door into her look. She's definitely she recognized something, and this is why she deserves credit and is borderline genius as a marketer. She recognized, in this world where I can't even watch a gym video with a woman without her showing her ass, and women just show their ass, leave with their ass cheeks, go ass cheeks first into everything. What she realized is a lot of men needed emotional support. A lot of, she's full of shit. A lot of men needed mental and emotional support, and she was going to give it to. She understood, you know what? I can do the same thing as a Twitch girl without showing my ass or my titties. The same thing as an OnlyFans girl without showing my ass and my titties. All I have to do is agree with these male talking points and spam them. I don't have to critically analyze them. I don't have to come up with new ones. I can just spam the existing talking points. And so Papa Cotton said, and this is why I wish I had comments going up, but I don't. When Pearl said women shouldn't vote, that was the last straw. That girl's full of shit. That's how you know she's lying. That's how you know she's lying. Yes, she's full of shit. Yes, she's just saying things for the algorithm. Yes, she's trying to be a comfort to her legion of simps. I knew they were simps when something, this is one of her, I ain't gonna say the early clips. This is when I knew of her. One of her clips or one of her shorts or one of her videos, something was brought up as far as her dating and her relationships, and the way the commenters reacted to, like, they didn't like the idea of someone fucking their Pearl, right? Because she appeals to something. She appeals to them. She appeals to, again, that girl next door who's saying what you want to hear. And yeah, Papa Cotton says she has a point. But you know she's full of shit. You know that's bullshit. You know she doesn't really believe that. There's no way she believes that women shouldn't vote. There's no way you can convince me she believes that. She just wants to say that because she's telling men what they want to hear. We hear so much about, men preying on women and telling them what they want to hear. No, this woman was smart enough. I don't know how old she is. I don't know if she's closer to my age, younger, whatever. But she is smart enough to realize there's a legion of lonely men who are angry, maybe got divorce raped, maybe you're young on the younger side and keep getting passed over for the quote unquote Chad and Tyrone. I hate to use these oft used terminologies, but you get my idea. The guys that may be more attractive, maybe a little more financially secure, and they had no answers, and here she comes to save the day. This mid-looking chick who looks approachable, who looks attainable, and she doesn't do the makeup to make herself look as much, and she fills the void. You talking about Andrew Tate? We'll get to him because we gotta get back to the incels. We'll get to Andrew Tate gets arrested. She fills the edgelord void. She fills the I've talked about how we're dealing with division politics, right, on every level. So we had feminism for so long, but there was no male equivalent. And so this kid, and I know a lot of people are going to hate that because they swear there's no government involvement on this side. That's why I don't have a problem with Belle Daphne. The girl sell tap water to idiots. This fucking genius. Bro, these women understand what men want. And that's why they're making money. They're appealing to different elements of men. They're appealing, Belle Daphne appealed to the fetishism of men. I'll drink your bath water. Literally, I'll sell it to you if you're going to drink it. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Dice Clay was in that position, but he came from the conventional. He was still a comedian. You know what I mean? Now we're in this internet age, and everybody's just a personality. Shit, I'm just a personality, right? So now we're in this weird place. But you knew Andrew Dice Clay, at the end of the day, no matter what he say, he's a comedian. What's scary and different about the internet personalities is people feed into him at a deeper level. Did we not see this with the fandom? And I love the fandom. I still watch Ripper videos to this day. Now I got no issues with anyone else. I'm just saying, but a lot of people buy into the us versus them. You know what I'm saying? We together, we can do it, and they won't stop us. You know what I'm saying? People buy into that false sense of camaraderie. When someone like Andrew Dice Clay, no matter how controversial he was still just a comedian. You didn't put nothing else on him. Like he was supposed to lead you somewhere, like you might do with a YouTube personality. Someone like Andrew Tate, and people think he's going to lead them out of the Matrix. And Hell Dipsy, what up? I appreciate you being here. We're just rambling about how we got here with this crazy Manosphere content. That's all we're doing right here. And he goes in depth talking about Dice with the Rogan. He was a masterful comedian, dude. Andrew Dice Clay was the man, bro. He was the man. So you mentioned Andrew Tate. We got to go a little bit back to the quote unquote incels. Not necessarily incels per se, but young men. Because we're in the post-feminist world, because we're in the post-father world, a lot of young men don't have guidance. In fact, we might have to go a little bit outside of the quote-unquote manosphere. We got to go to my man Jordan Peterson. I think he was one of the first guys to show up and offer some sort of global guidance for a lot of young men that had no one to tell them anything. That was really one of the appeals of the manosphere itself, because, okay, here's some knowledge on how dating really works and what you should really look for and what you should pay attention to. But somebody like Jordan Peterson, whatever you might think of him, and I've been critical of him, but I've been, I've praised the positive. That clean your room, that, he helped give a lot of men some sort of identity, and a lot of younger men who didn't have any direction. And hell, the oppressive Eastoid Ascension dildo showed up. So now we're cooking with grease. What is with Jordan Peterson's jacket, my guy? He said, Papa Khan, this is why I really should have the chat box up. I got to figure that out. The internet broke Jordan Peterson. He turned to a Batman villain. He wears that fucking Two-Face jacket all the time, bro. He wears that fucking, it's a literal Two-Face jacket. It looks just like Two-Face. Everyone saying hi to Dildo. Dildo's the man. We're just ranting about how we got here with this Manosphere. You already missed the part where we talked about the PUAs and the incels, but we're back with the incels just to talk about how there's a lot of young men who don't have direction, who feel like a rudderless ship, didn't get any guidance from their father, and enter Andrew motherfucking Tate, the top G himself. He showed up, and he for a generation of young men, he was like you compared him to Andrew Dice Clay. You compare him to, he was something else. He was Andrew Dice Clay. He still is. Some people still, whatever he says goes. He gave a lot of people, another group of men, the same group of young men that Peterson helped. You're right. A lot of people got behind Peterson right away because he was dealing with the crazy Canadian government. Thank you, small time republic. But when Andrew Tate showed up, he was like manna from heaven to a lot of young men. He was the alpha that they had been looking to look up for. Jack Murphy, that's not Jack Murphy twice. One of those guys on my thumbnail is Jack Murphy. The other is entrepreneur in cars. I can't remember his name. They're not the same guy though. It looks like the same guy twice with the little bald overtanned look. Those are two different goons. But they had all these fake alpha males like Jack Murphy. Let them down. Here's Andrew Tate. What color is your Bugatti? He was an entertaining. I still find him entertaining at times. Entertaining guy, a brash guy, quote unquote, tell it like it is. And he enthralled a bunch of young men. And on top of it, had a genius marketing strategy in which he encouraged the members of his what's that shit called, Hustlers University, to keep posting his TikToks and keep posting him on YouTube. You couldn't, for a minute, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing an Andrew Tate clip. There was nowhere to go. He could have started a real life fight club. Yeah, he probably still could if he gets out. And quick aside about that human trafficking thing, man. Listen. And you know what? The OnlyFans, some of these OnlyFans agents, quote unquote, might find this too. We're in a different era, man. I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you if he did human trafficking. But if you're in a room with a girl and she's doing some either OnlyFans or call girl or cam girl shit, and she says, I want to get out of here, you say, bitch, you're not going. Like, what do you mean you want to go out of here? That might be human trafficking just to have that, say that sentence. Because now you're forcefully telling a woman to do something sexual for your income. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but a lawyer, in this legal system, that might be just enough to do human trafficking, man. You might not take much, and you need to keep that in mind if that's you're really trying to do this digital pimp shit, which most people aren't. But as much as people want to defend Andrew Tate, and I don't think he's a true human trafficker, we are in a world where that can be interpreted. A simple conversation with a cam girl can be interpreted as human trafficking. And technically fight clubs are everywhere, Papa Cotton. You're right. You got MMA gyms and boxing gyms everywhere. You ain't kidding, Dipsy. If you're in a room with a chick doing OnlyFans stuff, you might want to rethink your life. You are not kidding. You absolutely might want to rethink your life. But yeah, Andrew Tate showed up and he caused the internet to storm. Is he a Fed? Probably. I mean, his dad was in the CIA. And ironically enough, to me, his dad is the most interesting character out of the bunch, Andrew Tate. I find him the most interesting character. He just wanted to play chess. He just seemed like he just wanted to play chess and didn't give a shit about anything else. He seems cool to me. But Andrew and Tristan Tate, he's a part of the crew, and the energy he provides. He brought a lot to a lot of young men. These young men who, again, weren't taught shit, A lot of them fatherless. Even if they had fathers, father didn't bother, or father spent so much time at work that he couldn't really raise his kids, couldn't really impact his kids. So Andrew Tate raised them. Jordan Peterson raised them. So we had incels and PUAs lead our way to here. We had young kids. No, he can't. That's what I've seen. To go small time Republic. He says, I heard Tate is good at short bursts. He's great in little clips, but if you ever see one of his long form things, you realize he's not that good at being off the cuff and entertaining. At least that's what I say. But you can watch, you tell me. So he can't sit there and be articulate off the cuff for a long period of time. I don't believe he can. He's okay at interviews. But if you just sit him there when he's on his little couch with a cigar, he's not that good. She said Tate's the worst kind of pimp, a pointless one. At least street pimps serve a real purpose, their protection. Yeah, I've seen, what's the guy? One of these modern pimps talks about it. It's like, man, you're really just the guy who gives a rise. This ain't the 70s anymore. You just, not smacking holes and doing all that crazy shit. You're just giving a bunch of prostitutes rides and taking a cut. That's essentially, and making sure nobody does anything crazy. That's what a modern pimp does. That notwithstanding, is he not a valuable pimp? He's been able to pimp a lot of men. Yeah, he's good. He's good on like podcasts. He's good when there's other people to interact with him. But if you just sit him down and it's just him, or even just sometimes just him, his brother, his cousin, they can just be they can have funny moments, but they got a lot of dead air, a lot of lame air. But who the fuck am I? I have no following, so I can't say shit. Whatever. But yeah, that's how this is us getting here to this point, to this weird thing where the Manosphere now, it started as a way for men to have a lot of conversations that they didn't have before. It started as a way, I'm not trying to say it was all noble and all positive, because it was, it was just anything. It's just some shit on the internet. But it's whatever value it had or still has, it's just become another marketing strategy. It's just become another way for content creators to make content, to make money. And there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to do that right this moment, right? But it's not, there's no nobility to it, and there's no real, I say there's no real societal value, knowing that there can be a societal impact. But there's nothing to be said about this stuff. A lot of this is built on, I hate to say it, but I can't even say it, schadenfreude. A lot of male schadenfreude of women. A lot of just spamming, boring talking points, because that becomes an algorithmically friendly thing when you basically make the same video over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You can find a video of some OnlyFans girl saying something stupid about relationships, or some woman saying something stupid about relationships, and you can make content. And not only can you make content, anyone else who use that same clip can make content about how stupid modern women are and how they'll never get a high value man. And it becomes a fucking broken record. A broken record. Ooh, Tate is the antithesis of the young Turks recruiting for the right instead of the left. There's a lot of that. And honestly, again, is Tate a Fed? Question mark. There was this long-standing belief, well, feminism is backed by the government, but this isn't. Bullshit. If you think there's no, maybe not direct government, even though, again, Tate could be a Fed. But if you think there's no extra interaction, at least OnlyFans is putting money behind this movement, because they sure can't help but to put one of their OnlyFans models on one of these podcasts every week. There's multiple of these podcasts every week, and all of them are filled with OnlyFans girls. That is no coincidence. No coincidence. You think the corporation OnlyFans is not involved with these podcasts on any level? I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you, a bridge in San Francisco. I'll give them to you for a deal. Let's see some of your comments. Dipsy said people like him give confused betas a beacon for which they can inspire. Exactly. And I don't want to even say betas, because I don't deal with this alpha beta bullshit. I know we're mammals and all that, but like, who's the alpha on the football team? Is it the quarterback? Is it the head coach? Is it the owner? Is it the agent that has 5 clients who are on the team and they're the best players? Who knows? What what humans do, because we're supposed to be the most advanced animals, is weigh out the pluses and the minuses, the pros and the cons of a situation, and act with propriety accordingly. You don't necessarily have to be the alpha and a beta of a situation. You know what I mean? You just have to do what's best for the situation for the whole team. And sometimes that's you can't really define that in terms of alpha and beta. I mean, anyone who works in the corporate world, who's the alpha? Is it the person who's doing the most work? Is it the actual leader? Sometimes the actual leader isn't the leader. You know what I'm saying? So the alpha beta paradigm doesn't really fit humanity as much as they want to make it seem. What it ended up becoming is alphas get bitches, betas don't. You know what I'm saying? The Trudies are mad at the young Turks. I didn't know that. Gary Sinise is a good role model for boys. What about Gary Sinise? I know him as an actor. The conservative simping for Tate will never not be hilarious, says such a dildo. Alpha don't need leaders because they are leaders. Well, we have this fake alpha male movement. That's a part of this too. Jack Murphy getting paid. He can teach you how to be an alpha male. There's 100 guys with TRT, a tan, and a cigar that can tell you how to be an alpha male while they go through their midlife crisis. They can teach you how to be an alpha male. You know what I mean? And it's like, you guys are the biggest quote unquote betas of them all. You guys are the most, sensitive motherfuckers. And a lot of y'all, listen, man, I hate this. I hate to echo some of the critical talking points, but they have some validity, man. Shit, one of them, I don't even see what the problem is, that a lot of this is a cope. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is a cope. It is a cope. That's the negative of it. Shit. I was able to cope with a lot of the negative things that went on in my relationships when I had some more information about, how women actually can be and things like that. So it's like, okay, you know what? I don't feel so bad. Ironically enough, a lot of this information helped me appreciate women a lot more. And just have a little bit more understanding. Like, okay, you know what? Women are going to go for the guy with the most money. They are going to go for, hypergamy does exist. Okay. You can still understand. And it's not like crazy. This isn't rocket science, but it's been valuable. Hell, Decepticons Cave of Comics and Toys. It's been a long time. And I'm glad you're here. I'm laughing at Cinch and Dildo. I'm a God-fearing moral man. We need more male role models like that Pimp Tate. Basically. Because on some level, he is a pimp. Like you know what I mean? Like, even if you run, because that's how he made his money, was cam girl. And I'm not knocking you. I'm not hating the player or the game. But like, if what you did is get a bunch of chicks to do something sexual for money, man, I mean, I don't think you should be going to jail for it, right? But it is kind of a pimp, man. You are kind of a pimp. All Jack Murphy needed to do was not text Sidney Watson and Elijah Schaefer. They had no idea about his Peggy stuff, really. I only learned about him because of the Peggy stuff. Papa Cotton with Gabe. Oh, I'm not hating on him. Laughing at his sips. Yeah. Oh man, he's pimping way more men than he ever pimped women. He's pimping way more men than he ever pimped women. So are all these guys. So is Fresh and Fit. So is Pearl. They are pimping men. And Papa Cotton, this is the game. If there's any piece of game to actually take from the Manosphere, to actually take from any of this, it's this. The moment you realize that women shouldn't be a priority, you'll be ahead of the game. That doesn't mean women aren't great. Doesn't mean if you have a woman, throw her out. So you don't be a simp. No. It means women should not be the priority in life. See, a generation of young men were told to prioritize women, and a generation of young women were told to prioritize their careers. What part of the game is that? It's the part of the game that makes men feminine and women masculine. That's what it is. And now we're trying to say, wait a second, guys, you should fucking stop trying to PUA or incel or any of this shit with these hoes, go get you a job, my guy. Take a shower, clean your room, and focus on something else. Find happiness intrinsically, and it'll be a lot easier for you to date when you have happiness within yourself, man. And yeah, Tater is funny. His funny clips is why I'm critical. Don't mean I hate him. Just means it is what it is. But yeah, Pearl, I get it, right? Because again, once you realize she's really an OnlyFans girl who doesn't take her clothes off, she's really a Twitch dot that doesn't take her clothes off, and her appeal to men is just parroting these cliche talking points. You understand her, but she has no value for me. I cannot watch her content. There's nothing to be had. At least even Fresh and Fit are a little bit funnier. But her and the whatever guy, I mean, they are just charisma vacuums. And if whatever cast would be nothing without the weird OnlyFans girls. If you didn't have that one big chick, that's actually, I think it's in the thumbnail, or some of the weird OnlyFans girls talking their shit, there would be no reason to watch that cast. That guy seems beta as fuck, bro. Whoever that whatever guy is. And we're not talking about our guy Wes. He just seems weird, man. He seems like his search history be interesting. Courtesy smoke. But, long and short, we kind of did a short history. That's how we got here. That's how we got to this Manosphere shit. We started off picking up girls, a group of guys picking up girls, group of guys not getting girls, and a bunch of divorcee normies telling their story. And it led to this snowball effect where you have probably a multi-million, if not billion marketing scheme. Oh, yes, Dipsy, that's she's trying to be one of the guys. She's the girl that really understands you. She is trying to be one of the guys. Let me read the comment. It says, is it just me, or is she acting like she's the girl that goes to the strip club with you trying to be one of the guys? Sister Diddle said, Dempsey, a true pick me. Yes. That's her gimmick. She probably isn't as a person, but that's what she portrays, because she knows there's a group of simps that will love her so, because she does. Cool part about not making priority for women, priority, is that women respond to that for sucked up reason, and it rains pussy. Marks my words. The second you're over it, they're everywhere. Well, yeah, because they know you're not stressing. They know you're not stressing. When you genuinely don't give a fuck, like genuinely, not like, oh, I don't give a fuck, let me make sure everyone sees. But you genuinely don't give a fuck, man. It's a lot easier to date. A lot easier to date. When you have priorities outside of dating, when you have a value for yourself outside of how many bitches you getting, bro, or bitches you're not getting, it's a lot easier to date. It's worlds easier, and women respond to it. Even though I ain't dating nobody. Do they all have Chris Cullerton? They all have the same agency company. That's not a shot. I definitely can tell OnlyFans is involved with a lot of these podcasts. That's obvious to me. I compared it to the Truth, the cigarette companies sponsored this Truth thing where they talk about how bad tobacco is. You know what? All jokes aside, look at Matt. Shout out to Matt Bartholomew, aka Matt. And Matt has some game too. If you guys would go back, I don't know what do we do with those damn things? The Culture Crime Fighter Secret Identities. He said something that I do think is also important to know about a lot of women. He said, and he brought out the Bible. He said, you know how there's like a hierarchy and it's supposed to go God, Jesus, the man, the women, then kids. There's a group of women who are trying to usurp that order. Not only are they trying to usurp the man, they're trying to usurp God. And I may be switching it around, adding some hot sauce. I apologize. Some version of that you said. He definitely brought up the biblical order and said that there's some women trying to usurp it. And that's important. Yeah, it's important that men watch out. I saw in the fucking guy part of Lauryn Hill, got to do Guys, you know you better watch out. Some girls are only about that thing. Yeah, praise the V. All praises to the V. It's Mother Goddess worship, man. Eggs and hot sauce is amazing. No, I didn't mean to put the hot sauce on the story. Everybody got to put a little hot sauce, a little salt in it. And yeah, Beyonce church. But there's guys that worship women, that worship pussy. A lot of them, we make fun of the OnlyFans simps, the Twitch simps. A lot of the biggest simps are some of these guys who do the most, who get, quote unquote, get the girl. They are drowned in drama. I've seen guys. I knew a guy, and I've probably talked about him before. He did pretty good with ladies, but that became the focus of his life. The focus of his life, and he let other elements of his life slip to make sure he always got a wet tip. You know what I'm saying? And the church of dumbasses, yeah, that's craziness. The church of Beyonce, absolutely craziness. But hey, we're in the modern world, and you know what? The Manosphere is a church to some people. The Phantom Menace is a church to some people. Liberalism is a church to some people. We've seen that. The church of woke. Modern conservatism is a church to some people. Andrew Tate is a pastor to some people. You know what I'm saying? Pearl is a pastor to some people. Because we're in a godless society, people need something else to worship. So they turn all these other people, all these other institutions, all these other mind cults, all these other internet movements into their golden calf. Dempsey, you're right. The church of Twitter, the church of TikTok, the church of YouTube, church of Instagram. They're churches now. They are churches. We got our own Papa Cotton in the damn chat now. These things have become. Please don't have a church of vigilante. I don't want no blasphemous. I don't want no plagues and shit happening to me. Ice cream. Going back to the NPC shit. We are in a crazy age of a lot of lost people, men and women. Lost, and they're looking to the internet to fill in those voids. And I'm not talking from some pedestal like I have everything figured out and I'm perfect in every way. I'm not, right? I'm just commenting on this shit. I find it crazy. I don't know what other words to put it. I find it crazy. There's still some value in men having some of these uncomfortable conversations, but there's no value in some of this Schadenfreude shit and just like wanting. Looking at women failing and it's like, okay, this is, you're just bitter, my guy. I don't want to, and shit, y'all, this shit can get dark. Y'all haven't seen some of this shit. This shit can get dark, bro. There's some heat. There's some real He-Man woman haters in this class. Now, obviously, that's not everybody. And we haven't talked about the Passport Bros. They'll be their own stream. I want to do another stream with the Passport Bros and mention the Passport Sisters. They play a role too. There's a lot of hypocrite. So much of what the Manosphere supposedly stands on is about. I don't want to pay for women, and women are all about money, and this, that, and the third. And then a group of guys go to third world countries and pay for everything, and completely trick on women. I'm not saying everybody who's a quote unquote Passport Bro is. There's definitely some guys who are just, living their life, doing almost a male travel blog. But it's very hilarious that so many men who rightfully complain in a lot of cases about how crazy and unfair and unrealistic some of these women's standards are, because they want their whole life provided for, then go to another country where, because of the value of the money, whether it's the euro, the US dollar, or the pound, because of the exchange rate, they are able to provide a life for a woman at a much cheaper rate, and then they talk about how much better it is. Really? You're just talking about the exchange rate, my guy. No disrespect. Shout out Aristotle, fuck Plato. No. I didn't see the spark. You guys bought the NPC girl. You said the people spurting about the NPC girl's hilarious best shit online for a minute. I never knew who she was till you guys brought her to my attention, or that this whole thing was a thing. I mean, we had talked about people being NPCs, but not that that took it this far. But you know what? Good on these ladies. Good on everybody in the Manosphere. I'm glad you guys are making money off content. I'm not hating on you guys. Just commenting. Just trying to parse this through. Just trying to figure this out in this crazy world we call life. This crazy thing we call life. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's no moral of the story. I mean, the moral of the story is take the good and throw away the bad and the useless and laugh at what, you know, so you can still have fun. I posted my little thing about the syphilis rate in Houston. Got some pushback. Somebody on TikTok got mad about that. Somebody on TikTok got mad that, you know, apparently I'm falsely putting down women by posting a statistic that CNN put out. Like, okay, man. I'm just making fun. I literally did it for the meme. I did it for the memes and the lows because I wanted to use that fucking what the hell meme. I wanted to use that. Oh, this is answers up. Yeah, the moral story: stop simping, wash your ass, and stop. You know, the world ain't ending yet. And you know what? What do you think this world is? I don't have any. I know that I'm blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to have anything in this world. I come from so little. You know what I mean? The fact that I and a lot of my family are in the position we're in is a blessing. And it ain't perfect. We ain't rich. But just to come from nothing and to just have anything, I have a certain amount of gratitude. And I think people need to have a little bit more gratefulness to their situation and stop, you know, oh, you don't have a relationship. Oh, your relationship isn't perfect. So what? These motherfuckers are starving on this planet, man. These motherfuckers that don't have shit. And we're sitting there bitching about, you know, high value man and OnlyFans girls. What the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? Masculine republics give way to feminine democracies, and feminine democracies give way to tyranny. Aristotle. Worry about drinking water. Everything else is optional pretty much. I like that. That was the favorite. That's the favorite one of Papa Cotton for Aristotle. What did Plato say to say fuck him, such a dildo? Yeah, drink plenty of water. Please drink water. Hydrate or die. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drink some water right now. Hydrate or die. Hydrate or die. Unrelated to any of this stuff, I'm going to have to lay off weights for a while. And I probably should see a doctor. My back is... Some days I wake up, my back is okay. Some days it's fucked. And I'm like, man, I probably need to see a doctor. And I probably shouldn't lift any heavy weights. And ironically, I've lost a lot of weight. Not a lot. But some from the muscle loss. But I'm pissed because I want to get the muscle back. Oh, well. I guess that's pretty much it for this stream. I don't really have much else to say. I'm surprised I was able to make it this far because I didn't have any videos to watch. But I mean, hey, I'm still open if anybody want to show me something or you want to laugh at something real quick before we go. But I mean, I didn't really have much. I could have did this into a video, but I figured I'd do a stream because I'm seeing it. There's just a lot of weirdness with this whole Manosphere thing. A lot of weirdness and a lot of weirdness on both sides. There's a lot of weirdness from some of the opposition. I faced it. Oh man, Dempsey put out another song. Shit, that's something I've been watching stuff on. It's just being creative, and trying. Perfection is the enemy of good is kind of the lesson. I haven't been as creative as I want to be, and so shout out to Dempsey for not being like me and putting out music. Check out Dempsey's music, and you have a wrench. Feel free to leave a link. Leave a link to your music, man. People want to hear. People want to hear. And it's good to stay creative, man. It's good to just keep being creative. How many songs did I put out today? 0.0. How many songs have I written? I have one demo in the past couple weeks where I got a hook and just a start of a beat, and then that was all I did. That was all I did. But I did play the guitar today. So there's that. And I have been messing around with the the synth I pay all this fucking money for. I have been messing around with that. I keep forgetting you're not in love anymore. Keep forget things will never be the same again. And I sung a few times during the stream. So there you go. There's some musical stuff happening. So yeah, feel free to leave your link. And I got to put out more music. I got to start the music channel. I was thinking of starting the music channel with the song, the only VigilanteWilliamson song that exists, called it Dewey, and just starting it with that and turning it into shorts. So I may do that. But I want to have more music behind it, right? I want to have some more music. So I do got to get on that. Definitely got to get on that. And hopefully maybe do some musical streams. I was looking for a camera. I still am going to wait a little bit before I get a camera. Maybe just see if I can use the webcam to record some streams and stuff like that. So we definitely want to do some music streams. Definitely want to do stuff with the music. Let's see, what else? Is there any other housekeeping? I think that's pretty much it. I'll just wait for Dempsey's link. And, we'll keep it short. We went an hour. No, my cam is still good, but I could probably get everything in the studio. I could probably do the studio with it, but I want to kind of have like a higher end look for certain videos. But I could wait on that. I don't need that, man. I got to stop. My biggest issue creatively is trying to be perfect where I need to just be good. And so I want a better look, man. I want it to look all cinematic, man. But really, I could just and I got the little Zeus, my dog. I don't like keeping the door shut because my dog gets sad. He's right here harassing me. Really, the way my studio set up, I could just put the webcam. I probably wouldn't be able to see it, but just I'm probably going to do a stream. And I may do it on this channel to try to or maybe see if I can do it on both channels. Create the new channel for the music and then do this. But I wanted to mess with this Behringer 2600 clone and just do that for a stream. But I got to learn more about it. Let's see what we got here on Dempsey SoundCloud. Refrain. Am I cool to play it? Would you be okay if I played it, Dempsey? You can play it out. Something different. It's up to you. Oh, Zeus juice. Sorry, my doggy. Yeah, go for it. All right. Bro, bitches are making doing NPC streams on their phones. You don't need a better camera. Yeah. I got to stop that. I got to stop my perfectionist shit. You're absolutely right. Man. I got everything I need. I'm just being an idiot. I'm just very good at being an idiot. And very good at overdoing shit. And hell, Zax. A little late to the party. We've kind of done a lot of the talking. Honestly, we're pretty much done. We're just about to play Dempsey's song real quick as on our way out. But we've already talked about how the Manosphere is a work. It's just hold on. It's just a marketing strategy. Wait, hold on. Zeus, move. Move, you on my headphones. Move. Oh, the cord for my headphones. Yeah, you missed the party, unfortunately. Let me make sure this is actually playing. Let me actually get on the right screen. I'll mute myself so you can just hear the song. right. That's pretty cool.
Here's a pro.
Hey, no, we're not marketing for nobody else, man. You try to sneak a little ad in. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I like a lot of the sounds. I like the pace changing. Yeah, and that 303 at the end. I wouldn't prep for that. That was cool. That was cool. I like the pace changes too. I definitely like those. As far as the mix, I apologize if that was on me. I got, this is going through OBS. This is going from SoundCloud through OBS. So, if there's so many issues, it could be on my end. Hell, Tom Jensen. I don't want to leave. People are showing up now. I don't want to leave. I almost want to just talk about whatever's going on in the world for a little bit, because I hate, I appreciate you guys so much for rocking with me, especially with all the channel confusion. So yeah, I think thank you, Dempsey, for letting me play your music. I'm always willing to play music. Anybody else having cool music that we know we don't get copyright claim for, anyone else doing their own musical project, let me know. Feel free. I'll always play it. That was friend Jim playing on his guitar. Yeah, I was gonna wonder, was those guitar sounds, were there samples, were there live guitar being played and added to the track? How that was gonna come about. Not to, ask for somebody else's process, but just wondering. So I appreciate hearing that, man. Just to because like I was saying, I got my own little. I am so pretentious in my own mind on what type of music, how good my music is supposed to be, and that's really limiting. And I've been watching videos talking about how stupid that is, basically, and who was I watching? I can't remember the creator. But just the basic gist was he was comparing Goat Simulator to Duke Nukem Forever, which, if you don't know, Duke Nukem, they had 1, 2, and 3D, came out in the 90s. Forever didn't come out to 2011. And Goat Simulator was a game that was basically developed for the most part in a month. I think they added more to it after, but the main pitch was developed in a month. And just how... done is the opposite of, done is better than perfect. Done is, because if something's complete, it's complete. If sometimes you wait, you go too hard, I would love to collab, I would love to collab. I need to put out some more music too, so I can prove my musical worth. Because like I said, I want to do a music channel, and I gotta get out of my own head musically. I in my own head, part of it is this equipment, and hell, here's a carryover from the Manosphere to music. So a lot is said about women having so many options, and the the quote unquote body count conversation. The premise of that conversation is because women have had so many men, they can't they get too choosy because they have so many choices that they get flustered by the problem of choice. They could choose so many different men that's coming at them. They don't know what to choose. And I think because I have now kind of the studio of my dreams as far as equipment, I have multiple keyboards, multiple synths, multiple samplers, multiple drum machines, plus a shit ton of VSTs and sounds and drum samples and keyboards and digital shit. So I got tons of fucking sounds. I have literally, because of the nature of synthesizers and plus guitar pedals and effects processors, I have limitless sounds, and I can't create anything because of it. So yeah, since you did those right, for me to collab, I would need to make music. Lots of layers to that piece, 4 guitars, 2 bass guitars, 1 10-piece drum set, and an 808, lots of effects. One question I wanted to ask for the guitars, how are y'all tracking that? Are y'all tracking that using a plugging the guitar directly into the interface using a VST? Are y'all using an amp and y'all miking that? And if you are miking an amp, are you using 1 mic or 2 or more than 1? I'm sorry to we went from the Manosphere to technical audio production in 2 seconds flat, because I got a guitar and I'm like, I can do effects and stuff, and I've been playing the guitar more, but I'm always gonna be, I ain't never gonna be Jimi Hendrix, but I can always cut, edit, use effects, and do all this sort of stuff. So you real guitar through DAW. So okay, real guitar through the DAW, then use a real headed amp. How many mics do you use to mic that amp? And because I have a SM57 somewhere here. I don't know what happened to it. It just got up and left because of inactivity. Like, you're not using me, so I'm leaving. And I don't know if I need two to mic this shit or if I could just get away with one. Because, I mean, I've seen people use two mics and all this other stuff. That seems more complicated, and I can't, I ain't necessarily, this ain't going to be, again, I'm not going to be Jimi Hendrix, but, I like the guitar, I like some of the sounds and effects. I got a bunch of effects. So, yeah, Zeus probably he could have buried it. I wouldn't know. And actually, I need to, my backyard is currently a mess. Oh, no, I explained it wrong. The DAW is the end. So, no need for extra mics, just studio quality monitors for the mix and master. Okay. So you just, okay, so you're just micing an amp going into the DAW, and you're just using one mic, like Nas in his prime. Well, his prime might be right now because Magic is coming out. Is it coming out? Is Magic coming out in like a minute? Is it coming out? Or is that next week when Magic comes out? Mics for singing and drums. I see. Drums, I'm not really worried about. I'm gonna use a lot of drum machine stuff, but I don't know really how to mic. And like I said, I've seen people just use one mic for the guitar cab, but I didn't know. I like the way the guitar sounded. So if you can get that with one mic, I'm gonna just use the one. But yeah, that was pretty cool, man. And anytime you release a song, let me know. And if you're down to collab, I don't know how to collab through the internet, but I would love to find out. So do you got any social media I can hit you up on, Dempsey? Drum set's digital, so maybe we'll be a drum machine. Yeah, I thought the snare was an 808 snare. But, okay. It sounded like an 808 snare myself. Yeah, that's what I was assuming. But, it's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Like I said, I'm asking you technical questions. Sorry to the chat that's over your head or under your head or whatever. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? But there's all these different processes, and everyone has a different process, right? There's no one way to do it. Audio Tool is how you collab via the internet. Made a song with a guy in Portugal. Okay, I gotta look into that. I gotta look into Audio Tool and figure out how to get it done. Seems pretty cool. Is it like a digital DAW situation where both people can use it? Or like, how does that work? Let me see. Okay, you know what? Real quick before we leave, I got to show one of my favorite new. I don't know if he's new. I don't know how long this guy's been around, but he's like one of my favorite YouTube shorts right now. Named Beast Child. He's just this guy. He says cocaine TikTok, and he's just funny to me. And since he happened to pop up, it's like a social media site with a studio dog. Okay. We were supposed to end, but I mean, I don't know. You guys started to show up, so I feel like, I don't know, bad ending too early. So let's actually let me turn this audio down so it's not too low, too high, I should say. Let's check out just a few shorts to play us out because they're pretty funny usually, and I'm just gonna go in random, so I don't know if they're
serving human poo-poo as chocolate fudge dessert. The school cafeteria caught red-handed feeding this pipe directly from the boys' bathroom. As you can see, it's fresh caca, thick and creamy. Serving human. This customer had 3 requests: a heart on his head, a stronger internet connection, and to just generally look like a fucking idiot. Luckily, our barber is also a network engineer, so he knows a thing or two about 5G. In order to complete the unicorn look, had to pull out the particle accelerator. The client's considering 3 rapper names: Rhino Baby, Lil Wi-Fi Router, and Young Antenna. This customer...
Yeah, it's his voice. It's the way he says things like he's this perfect salesman. but he's talking about these crazy ass subjects.
Welcome back to Cartel TikTok. One of our most popular summer products are these nostril rockets preloaded with cocaína colombiana. Great way to take your booger sugar on the go and consume your nose candy in a discreet way. Look for a guy with face tattoos standing outside your local corner store. Welcome back to quick life hack for all you crackheads and dope fiends out there that don't have access to a credit card or a razor. Use a spatula and snort the cocaine. Quick life hack for all you crackheads and
real quick, Dempsey was talking about the situation audio tools like a social media site. Serial DAW and no drum set into the DAW. It was a snap snare setting within the set. I see. So no 808 snare, just a snap snare. I think I've seen this one's pretty funny.
Our younger condom fitters preparing kid-sized cock socks for anyone slaying puss in grade school. They get an erection, we give them protection. One of our young, and you'll immediately see why they call it popping her cherry, because the first time you pull it out, that thing bleeding pee, nice cock. And you'll immediately see why they call it, after snorting 2 lines of Peruvian for the first time, he looks like he's ready for either the circus or the Summer Olympics, can't tell which, but we know the drugs are working. I have a feeling that safety car is just going to swerve right out of the way. He's not there to help. Meanwhile, at our testing facility, the effects of methamphetamine, as our latest test subject appears to be immune to fall damage because he's higher than a fucking spaceship. There he goes. After snorting 2 lines of Peruvian for the
more
first
and then we'll
time,
get out of here finally.
The Cock Slicer 5000 is an industrial torture device utilized by the cartel in most interrogation rooms. The technology is pretty simple. Our light-speed blade completely annihilates the subject's penis. The Cock Slicer 5000. The new Yeezys were announced today, and sneakerheads are already calling this release the, quote, drippiest kick since the OG Crocs. Kanye tweeted, now you can walk on water just like Jesus in my new Balenciaguas, retailing for a humble $20,000. The new Yeezys were announced today, and now his slimes claim that, quote, jit trippin', on God, no kizzy. Based on my loose grasp of the vernacular, I'd have to agree with that assessment. Now his slimes claim the job pays $69 an hour and does require getting very high in more ways than one, if you know what I'm saying. We had an employee drop the screw and take a bit of a fall from 10,000 feet. The second he hit the ground, he actually died of natural causes. His brain splattered. The original French press was designed to oxidate human urine. Add your sample to the cup and pump the piss until it foams into semen. You can drink that straight, but if you respect yourself, add a couple chicken eggs, a shot of Peruvian cocaine, and liquid heroin. The original French press was designed. A little bit of coke never killed anybody. We're starting him young, so he knows from an early age. Eli, how's the purity of this batch? Okay, back to recess. A little bit of coke never killed anybody. We're starting him. Experts in the industry refer to it as gooey goo goo gaga. Chemically, it's made up of pure elephant semen. Experts in tonight on Semen and cum, ejaculate, and semen, as well as cocaine. Phenomenal balance, but you'll notice he's not even pedaling. That's because he's riding upside down on top of a fucking car. Okay, now let's try it on the freeway. Phenomenal balance. A lot of you guys have been asking me how to rob a bank, how to steal fine art from a museum. Grab the compass you use for geometry class and suction cup the bitch down to the center of the glass. Spin that motherfucker around about 20-30 times. Get an idea of the diameter, that's enough. And now push down with the needle to create that perfect circle. This is some James Bond type shit. Grab the specific hammer you're gonna use and carefully just beat the shit out of the glass until it's shattered in a million pieces. A lot of you guys have been asking me how to...
Okay. Balenciaguas. Are you on Facebook? I am not. I'm on Instascam. I don't know if there's a way because they own both to get there. You have a Discord and Twitter? I think I still have a Discord. I do not have a Twitter. All I have is an Instascam, TikTok, and 2 YouTube channels. And I might have found you on Discord. So, okay. I think we've had enough fun. We talked. We had a little after show. We talked about the craziness of the Manosphere. You know, long and short, all praises be to what's that whole name? Pearl. All praises be to Pearl. Worship your snow goddess. I'll talk to you guys later. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. Share and subscribe. I don't know what I tried to say. Please do that. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Dempsey, thank you for the song. We got to somehow connect to make music. I got to make music. And I'll talk to everybody later. Peace. Ooh, excuse me. Peace.